vaping. Hee hee. It's Michael Jackson pre-podcast impression.
That was impressive. It was as though Michael Jackson had risen from the grave.
Yeah.
And
He
was...
sounded like he was dead as well.
Do you want to hear another impression of him?
Go, please.
Come on, girl.
Oh, I thought you were going to imitate
That sounded more like Mickey Mouse, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll work on it.
Anyway, on with the podcast.
Yep.
La 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 la.
Ha 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 ha.
And now there's an elephant in the room.
Let's not talk about it though.
Hello, geeks and geekettes, and welcome to another edition of the Geekstation podcast where we talk movies, TV shows, games, and all things geeky. I am Sinn, and as always, I am joined by my good friends, David and Martin. Say hello, David and Martin.
Hello, David and Martin.
Thank you. And I did almost go Martin and David, but that's fine.
I did almost try and do the intro with you again.
You did? Yeah, that would have been hilarious.
Times two. It just gets funny each time you do it though. So.
Well, yeah, that's it. You know, a joke repeated over and over again.
Repetition is the key to comedy.
That's correct, yes.
That's why Family Guy's been on the air for so long.
Well, that's actually a very good point. You make a very good point, David. How you doing anyway, guys? Have we had a good week?
Pretty good.
Good.
Yeah?
Did we do have the sniffles, so if I cough and splutter.
I had the sniffles this week too. It was a bit...
Oh, I mean, you're in a locked room now. So.
Yeah.
So now you've got it. Ha ha ha.
Got it.
It. Yeah, not the film It.
I saw that film actually.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said you didn't enjoy it.
Was
that you? No.
I enjoyed it.
Okay, no, who was that? I was talking to somebody on Friday night and they were saying it was a really bad film.
Wow, that is not a... I don't think that's a...
No, they were
accurate.
saying... Apparently they were saying it was absolutely terrible.
It's
Do you reckon they just watched the original and didn't realise?
Maybe.
Yeah,
the
like, oh,
3 hour...
It's come out on DVD really early.
Yeah.
Or did they watch like the porno version of it or something?
There's a porn... And of course there's
they were
a
just
porno
watching
version.
a book.
I don't even know
just
why
like
I'm
this.
even questioning that. Yeah, is it good? Is it worth
I thought it was good.
Because it's had some really good reviews.
Yeah, exactly.
So...
No, it was, I'm not really a horror guy, so the thing is, I went into the cinema with my auntie, and she was like, "Well, we can watch
With your
Kingsman."
auntie?
Yeah, because I was on holiday this
You were
week.
in Cornwall, of course, yeah.
in Cornwall.
You have a nice time, by the way?
Yeah, it was good.
Good,
It was
good.
lovely. That was one of the good things about it. But it was Kingsman or It. I don't usually watch horrors, but it was the only thing to watch.
You were like,
I hadn't
well,
seen,
I've already seen Kingsman, and I've already talked about it at length.
Yeah.
So
and I don't want to go over that again. So watched it. Was decent. Would
Good.
recommend.
Would recommend it. I'm not going to see it in the cinemas because this week is Blade Runner.
It's too late now.
Yeah, I'm going to just wait until it comes out on DVD and watch it then. So, yeah, good. All right. How about you? You good week, David?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Anything exciting happened to you? Gripping?
I sent my visa off.
Oh,
to
yeah, you did.
The embassy.
Yes.
So,
you are leaving this godforsaken country.
yeah, I should hear back in about 4 weeks to
Good.
whether or not I can go to the next part of the visa process. But yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, we're wishing you luck.
Oh, that's awfully
Lots
kind
and
of
lots of
Yeah,
good
speak for
Geek
yourself.
Station vibes.
That's
All
not what
right.
you were saying the other day.
No, well, that was because I was drunk and I don't want you to leave.
Yeah, you were saying I hope.
And it was off
fail.
air.
No, I did not say that. That is a bull-faced lie. I would never have said that. I may be secretly hoping it, but I would never know. No, I don't.
It's not really a secret now, is it?
Well,
It's
no,
been
I'm
published
just.
on the internet.
It's
no,
out
no,
there.
no. I wish you all the best.
You
I
also
hope-
stood up on top of the bar table and exclaimed it to everyone.
I
as well.
don't remember that. I must have been very drunk.
Well,
It was that last
it was
cider. It
Friday
just
night,
hit, it just
so,
hit me. Yeah, that's it. Anyway, so we're going to be talking this week not about our shenanigans when we go out drinking, but we're going to be talking about Blade Runner, the original 1982 Blade Runner, in anticipation of Blade Runner 2049, which is coming out next week in 2017, because that makes sense. So
Yeah.
that makes
did we all watch it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But which cut did we watch? Do we know?
The final cut.
Ah, see, I watched the final cut as well.
This is the 1997, I believe. That's what it said on it.
I know. So that's the director's cut, I believe.
Is it?
I think
It was called Final Cut.
the final cut came out in like 2007.
Really?
Yeah.
10 years later.
Yeah.
Wow, they
Yeah.
are milking that one.
Yeah, well, no, because he finally got control. Well, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it when
Okay,
we get
yeah,
there,
we'll
but
get to
talk
that
it.
when we come to
But
that.
I think
I
you
just
watched.
whichever one was on Now TV.
Yeah,
It didn't say.
my
it just
guess
said
is
Blade
that's-
Runner, and I was like, yeah, there
Cinematic
you go.
trade.
Yeah.
Cinematic
So there's
version,
ways
probably.
you can tell. So like, was there like a voiceover at the end? Was there a unicorn dream halfway through the film? That's very important.
I don't remember a unicorn.
No,
dream.
okay. So we'll talk about this when we get to it. There's lots to say. Was there a unicorn dream in yours?
Yeah.
Okay. So you watched at least the director's cut, possibly the final cut.
Okay.
See, I've become an expert on the 8
On the
different
Blade
cuts
Runner.
of Blade Runner. But anyway, let's, as always, go into the news. So talking about Blade Runner, we may as well just go straight into it. There's early reviews of Blade Runner. They don't actually get released until the embargo, I suppose, doesn't get lifted until tomorrow. But apparently they're very positive. Lots of people are coming out. Lots of reviewers are tweeting, just seen it, incredible, very good. Gosling and Ford are brilliant in it, etc., etc. So I'm quite looking forward to it, actually,
Yeah.
I have to say. It's coming out this week, so we'll see it on this weekend, I guess. And we'll be talking about it next week.
Yeah.
When's that out? Like Thursday?
Thursday, Friday time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll probably go to cinema. I'm not sure if it's one that I'm going to be able to take the fiance to see or not. So I might be doing that lonely guide.
The solo cinema
Yeah,
experience.
I might do it. Yeah.
Oh wow.
But it's
I'm
good
still
though.
yet to- I kind of want to do that one day.
It's good, and I'll tell you why it's good. It's because you get the whole popcorn to yourself, and you don't have like someone's little hand just like
Oh,
reaching
dude,
in.
I
and just
kinda
going,
need
"Give me
that,
the popcorn,
though."
Give me the popcorn.
Because otherwise you eat the entire thing and then you walk out with like popcorn all over your teeth and shit. And that's just
Well, that happens anyway,
yeah.
and popcorn
Not
just
fan.
everywhere, and you're like, and
Yeah.
you think it's going in your mouth, and you look down, and you're like, what the?
I missed
fuck
it.
is
Yeah.
this?
Martin, you could just buy a smaller.
No,
Popcorn?
you can't.
Oh, okay.
The value
No,
of the fucking
it
cinema
is.
these days.
Honestly,
is
like if and I think you get a better deal the larger you go. So like you will get like it's like £6 something for like a small drink, or it's like £7.50 for like the large.
It's like,
And,
the difference is like 40 pence.
Yeah,
from
the
a small to
economies
a
of
large.
scale. So you may as well get the large one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Or you just go to Lidl and get your own snacks and take them in that way.
Which apparently
Isn't illegal.
you're allowed to
Isn't against the
do,
rules,
but
yeah.
they just never obviously.
Well, I think
let
they
you know
were
or
a bit
advertise that.
hotter on it back in the day, weren't they? But now I just seem to
So
walk in.
when we went to go and see Kingsman last week, we went to Tesco's to buy some fudge because Georgie likes her fudge, and we saw those like little pots of pre-made pick and mix that you can get from
Oh,
Tesco's.
yeah.
They're like £1. The same pots in the cinema were £2.99,
Yeah, I'll bet.
and it's just like, really? I mean, who is buying this stuff? Like
People would just go, "Oh shit, I forgot to buy something. Oh, let's get this."
and like like now in the Odeon you get the popcorn, you can get like the toppers. So you can get like M&Ms
that's
or
so
pretzels
Why do
or
you- what the
or
fuck?
like mini Oreos,
Yeah,
and
I
it's
don't
like
get that.
it's £1 for like a sprinkle
Sprinkle
of
It's not even
M&Ms.
throw out. It's literally just.
It's
on
just
top.
on the top.
Yeah.
It's such a rip-off.
Oh,
it
God.
really is. But
Well,
it's because
that's-
less people are going to the cinema. Than
Yeah,
they used to,
yeah,
so
they have to
make
make
their
up
money from
somewhere.
somewhere, don't they?
Yeah.
So I get
I
that.
mean, cinemas always get more foot traffic every single year.
Oh, you see, I thought it was on a decline, but maybe that was a few years ago.
Every
and
stat
maybe
I've
now
ever
it's
seen,
not.
it's always like they
Ah,
still
okay.
get this more footfall. Every
But then I
year.
think the films are costing them more money to buy to show
Oh,
or
Probably,
whatever.
yeah. I mean, there's got
Oh, because they're being pirated and then they have to spend more money in other places.
Well, I think that's just an excuse for the studios to.
Yeah.
Because there was a really cool TED talk a few years ago, talking about piracy, and basically it was specifically about music piracy. But he kind of brought in some facts and figures from film, and he was saying that he did the maths, and if the industry was losing as much money as it claimed it was, it would be on like minus $10 billion a year or something like that,
Yeah.
which clearly it isn't. So actually is piracy. And if you think like Game of Thrones is the most pirated show in the world, and its budget has increased from 10...
It's up to like 15 million.
Yeah, well,
episodes
it's gone from 10 million for the whole series to like 2 million per episode now. It's like, it's making money. And that's on a subscription service.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's clearly making money despite being the most pirated show. So, I don't know.
I don't know how that works. Sure.
People are not pirating as much as the studios and the big corporations would like you to know.
Yeah.
I think anyway. I don't know. Who knows?
Who knows?
That's okay. We could do an entire subject on piracy, but
Can you guys hear me okay? Because it sounds quite quiet in my ears.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Oh, I thought we did the whole sound check before.
Yeah,
we
we
did
did.
like a whole 6
It was
minutes
just-
of sound check.
Yeah, I was just saying.
No, you're there. I mean,
Yeah.
I can turn your little mic up if you want. I can go. There you go. See, I turned you up a little bit.
Does that sound a bit better? See, that sounds a bit better to me.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I've turned you up now.
Oh, we can cut this
Jesus.
bit out though.
Yeah, sure. Okay, we're not going to. So number 2. So the director of Cowboy Bebop.
Wait. Did we do the jingle?
No, we didn't. It's fine.
Cut to Martin's microphone.
Am I doing the jingle?
Yeah,
this
it's your
time?
turn this week.
Okay.
Oh,
Shall I do the okay, let's go.
The new
for it.
jingle. Go.
News.
There you go.
Brilliant.
That was a good one. That was
That's
good.
Has percussion and rhythm and all sorts in there.
You
I
saying,
like-
you saying I, didn't have
technically
rhythm when I did it.
Well, you had the melody was there, but not quite.
I'm not sure. Yeah,
the
that's
percussive elements
right.
that
Yeah.
I brought in through the ski bops.
Yeah, but you're
You
into
know.
scat, so. That's right.
That
Well,
was,
I'm the
Jesus.
scat man.
Anyway, right. Let's move on.
Shouts out to Scatman John. He's my
Yay,
guy.
Scatman John. Anyway, so the director of Cowboy Bebop, I will. It's Watanabe is the surname, but I can't pronounce
Shinichiro.
it. There you go. See, there's the anime expert right there. Has created the
Resident
third and
Weebo.
final. Yeah, has created the
That's a
third
dirty
and
word,
final
David.
short film for Blade Runner 2049. Which is actually on the YouTube channels here. I'm just not going to press play because of what happened last week.
What do you mean?
But it's
The
People loved it. We have a
comedic talent.
100% rating that everyone loved that.
I'm sure we could
100%
quantify that.
rating that
How many
everybody
people
loved
have
that.
told you they didn't like it? How many people have told you they did like it?
Yeah, okay. The feedback I've had, but that was more.
100%.
But that was more
No.
not on your
Stats.
running commentary on the trailers. That was more of you just trying to break
Which was
me.
part of it.
That was but it's the overall
100%.
effect. There are other anyway. So this is an animated 15-minute short. So the others have been like 3 or 4 minutes, and the other one like 5 minutes or something. This is 15 minutes. So it's like a little mini anime episode. I haven't
That's
actually
cool.
watched it, but apparently it's really, really, really good. And I was planning on watching it beforehand, but I just
Yeah, I was going to watch it yesterday at work, and I watched the first two, and then the third one started, and it was an anime, and I was like, and pause.
Yeah, that's what I thought you would do. Yeah,
Skip
but
to
I
the
don't like
video.
anime.
but apparently this is the most important because this tells the reason why there is the ban on replicants, which leads into the whole kind of Jared Leto's character in the third one, the second one,
Okay.
sorry, making replicants. So definitely worth a watch. Apparently it's very, very, very good. I mean, like the reviews have been incredible for
Yeah.
it. So, but I just think it's quite cool that they got the director of
I think,
Cowboy
yeah,
Bebop.
it's really cool because the film is like there are parts that I see like Blade Runner in Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, so he's said that he's been inspired by it to make things like
I think that
and-
influence is
Yeah.
pretty clear.
No, it's good.
But that's cool.
So moving on, Terminator, the next part of the franchise has an actual release date. It's going to be released in July the 26th, 2019. So we only have to wait a couple of years.
During the events of Blade Runner, then.
Yep.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Nice. Are you
Carry
okay?
on, as you were.
Oh my god.
That was a hearty cough.
That was-
there
that
was
was-
something behind that.
Yeah, there was
Yeah,
something came
I'm
out.
going to keep
Wow.
that in as well.
Yep,
Just
please do.
that was all David's. So this is the news. Now this is quite interesting because this is also going to be smack bang in the middle of when he's making Avatar as well. So basically, he's making the 4 Avatar films. There was news this week about the Avatar films, but it was about child actors and the fact that the next one's all going to focus on like these 5 kids and stuff. And I was just like, I'm really not going to go and see this film at all.
Are they just going to make it a kids' film then?
Well, well, it's Disney, isn't it? So I don't know.
Oh, is it Disney?
Yeah.
I didn't know Disney would.
Yeah, they've got like the whole Avatar theme park in Disney World now, haven't they?
Of course they do. Yeah.
Yeah, with like the 4-hour queues to get into it to see
Oh,
like
yeah.
some animatronic blue people. I'm
That's, why would
come
you,
on.
Why would you go for that? Like,
Yeah, you
Dunno.
can just watch Smurfs on DVD. It's fine.
yeah, but not in real life. You know, they're not there
DVDs
Yeah.
in
waving
real life.
at you like this.
the Navi and they're
That's it,
really
Navi.
big
Just
and
take
they're
a shit ton of acid and watch Smurfs.
dude. I'd
That
do that
wasn't
anyway.
me. That was
No,
Sinn.
that was me. I had to do that time. That was because you did it. It's like a yawn. It was like infectious. Martin will cough soon.
So
Oh,
you're
God.
saying you're saying you're a sheep.
I am. Yeah, well, I do like iPhones, and I want the new iPhone X. So
Yep, there
I
you go.
am a sheeple, apparently,
Wake
according to
up,
all the
sheeple.
memes on the internet.
And just real life.
And yeah, okay.
And just
whatever.
reality, yeah.
Anyway, so Terminator has a release date. We talked about this last week. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger's coming back, as is what's her
Sarah
name?
Connor.
Sarah Connor, but that's not her name. Linda Hamilton. There
Yep.
we go. I did just look that up, but
Cersei Lannister.
no, it's not Cersei Lannister. But nice try. Thanks for contributing to the conversation, David.
You're welcome.
So it's going to be interesting. I'm actually quite looking forward to it, particularly as we spoke about last week, because they're just going to do away with the sequels and they're just going to go straight into a follow up from Judgment Day. But I think it's going to be quite good,
Yeah.
and we don't actually have to wait that long for it. It's only a couple of years, so that's all good.
Only 2 years.
Well, that's nothing really, is it? Time flies, tempus fugit, and all
Oh.
that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Right, X-Men, The Dark Phoenix, which is the next kind of Avengers, next X-Men, different franchise, kind of first class, they're the kids, and McAvoy's lost his hair now, so he's looking more like Patrick Stewart and all of that. Follow on from, what's the last one?
I thought, the Apocalypse one is
Apocalypse, that's it, yeah.
Oh.
So it's
Oh, I
it's
saw
the
that
next
a
one
couple
up from
weeks
that.
back,
apparently may be a two-parter, following in the footsteps of
Hollywood's other cash grabs.
Yeah, that's it. Let's instead of
cash grabs.
telling a complete story over one movie, let's milk it for 2 years and tell the same story
Or
over two.
take a book that is, a third of the size of the first Lord of the Rings movie,
And then make
then
3
spread
films
it
out
into
of it.
3
Well,
movies.
yeah.
Genius.
Either way, either analogy works. But yeah, no. Apparently, this was leaked by not a cast member. No, it was a cast member. It was she plays one of the horsemen of the apocalypse in the last one. I can't remember her name.
Steve?
Yes, that's right. It was
Stephanie.
Steve. Yes.
Was it Cersei Lannister?
It wasn't Cersei Lannister, no. But she basically she was in an interview and she was
Hamilton.
like, no, it wasn't Linda Hamilton. But again, thanks for your contribution.
You're welcome.
And she was she was like saying, oh yeah, no, it's a big film.
Amelia
It's a great
Clarke.
film. It's probably going to be a two-parter. And then like the internet broke, so not Emile Park, no.
No, I said
although
Amelia Clarke.
although she did play Sarah Connor. So there you go. There's
See?
there's the
Game of
connection
Thrones
for you.
Terminator link.
There you go. You got there in the end. Now we can move on.
Let's catch 'em.
So what do we think to? I mean, the X-Men films aren't great anyway.
No,
What do we think to having a not great X-Man story being told over 2 films?
what are they doing with Wolverine?
Well, he's not going to
died.
be in it anymore, is he?
The character is just not going to be there.
Well, no. At the moment, they just don't know
Or they're just going to have X23
Hugh Jackman
or whatever
has said
she's
he's
called.
not making any. He's not making any more Logan films or being
Well,
Logan or anything.
yeah, but we need
so-
Wolverine.
Well, do we though?
Yes.
Do we need Wolverine?
He's like one of the coolest parts of the X-Men.
Yeah, but was he cool?
Also-
Was he only cool because it was Hugh Jackman?
No, but Wolverine's always been cool without
Yeah,
Hugh Jackman.
I've never been a massive fan of.
Really?
But you love Logan, though.
No, I fucking hate Logan. Such a bad film. I do not
I
understand
thought
why
it was-
everybody thinks it's a good film.
It's a decent film.
It's a really good
slow.
movie.
It's not.
It's a really good movie.
It's slow. It's boring. The story doesn't go anywhere.
You're slow and boring.
Well, I may well be, but God damn it, I have opinions on Logan, and they're not good. And I've rewatched it as well. It hasn't been one of those where I watched it and kind of thought, oh, okay, yeah, I'm not too
You
sure.
have to cover up your Logan tattoo now.
I don't.
Number 1 Logan fan, foam finger.
I just why do I do this to myself every week? So what do we think to the X-Men having to?
I personally think 2 movies. It's difficult to judge until you find out what the full story is going to be.
Yeah,
how they're
yeah,
gonna break
exactly.
It down, but
What is it
just seems
based on?
unnecessary, really.
It's based on the Dark Phoenix, so it's
So that's a comic.
Yeah, so it's the character of Jean Grey. So originally, in the comics, the Dark Phoenix is this universal cosmic force.
Oh yeah, and Jean Grey.
That basically takes over mutants all over the universe and mutates them, and then they do horrible things. And in the comic books, the original Dark Phoenix, which they kind of did at X-Men 3, The Last Stand,
Yeah.
in the comics, in the storybook, she ends up exploding and actually killing Xavier and all sorts of things like that. Like it's a classic comic storyline, but this is probably going to be something because
Apparently, the comic's really good. I haven't read it myself.
Yeah, no, it's
so
one of the
apparently it's
very
really good.
few stories that I've actually read, X-Men stories I've read. So
Do you think it could be split between 2 movies successfully?
well, if they do the comic book story, I think it would be really good because it goes into space and everything like that, and that would be awesome. But they probably won't do that because it's Fox and they don't really know how to make a good X-Men film. I
Yeah.
don't think so, anyway.
It's kind of sad because I think the X-Men are like really. I like X-Men films.
Yeah. Plus, Logan was really
Well,
good.
I like the idea behind them, and Logan was okay.
It was not. It would just. It would.
No, it's not okay. I liked that film.
Well, you
But,
and
I mean,
lots of
we've-
other people.
I think
trodden
Logan
ground.
and Looper are both really,
Logan
really
and
good
Looper,
movies.
the 2
best
elves of the
films
apocalypse.
yeah, sure. Anyway, let's move on. Do you guys seen? Do you guys remember the classic '80s film Flight of the Navigator?
Yeah, I fucking love that movie.
Isn't it? It's a good movie, right?
Oh my god, that's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
Mainly because the guy's called David in it, but
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. So it's about. Have you seen this, Martin?
No.
I've literally got it at home. I tried to buy
On Blu-ray?
it. No, on DVD.
No,
I tried to buy it
okay.
a couple of years ago, and I couldn't find it anywhere in England. I had to buy it online from a German retailer. So
Right.
It's got the German cover on it and everything
Okay,
as well.
but you just
and you have
change
to
it to
go into the
English.
settings to
Sure.
change it to take off the subtitles to actually watch
So
the movie.
yeah, so this is the film.
I love that movie.
This is the story of the little kid David who basically runs out into the woods one night, gets
And
knocked.
the little fucking pocket creature thing.
Yeah,
as well.
gets
Oh,
knocked
man.
unconscious and then goes off for a flight with an alien spacecraft and comes back, and it's like 10 years later, or I can't remember exactly the timescale. But it's a classic. It's a film from my childhood, like full on. Like
Full on
I've got
80s.
lots of feels about it.
I love
Okay.
that movie so much.
Getting a remake. Which I'm
Fuck off.
So Disney are remaking it. They've started finding somebody to write the script.
I'm gonna put my foot down, and I'm actually gonna make some calls when I get home, and I'm gonna have this.
So I hear
remake.
You're
Flight of the
gonna
Navigator,
have
right?
this project shut down.
I'm gonna have it
before
shut
it
down.
even begins.
I will.
But yeah. So there's very little news out about it at the moment, but I had to put it in because it's such a big part of my childhood, and I just don't understand why can't we come up with original films? Why can't we?
Why do they have to fuck with my life?
Stop remaking stuff and just
Stop
make new
sequeling
stuff.
things and
Exactly.
stop remaking.
And prequeling and remaking and just.
They're just gonna fucking obliterate it if they try and remake
It's
that.
well, the thing is, right? It's not going to have the same. I mean, it's not going to have the same
Because they're
charm
going
as
to
the
change the
original.
story, they're going to change the characters, they're going to change how they do things.
Yep.
It's just going to be a basic. Someone gets taken away and comes back, and then
It's going to be the same story, but with
in fucking 10 years' time, they're going to turn around and they're going to be like, "Oh, we're going to remake E.T. You guys cool with that?
I
Oh,
think
no.
it's going
Because
to
it's
happen.
going to fucking happen."
I think it's actually going to happen.
That-
yeah.
They've
They've
has to
all,
happen.
I'm setting it out now. They've hit the mark where you shouldn't remake anything anymore. Before I was like, okay with it, fine, whatever. But you touch with Flight of the Navigator, I'll fucking hunt you down.
Jesus, I was hoping for a reaction, but not this type
I
of
think
reaction.
you hit the mark there.
I think I did. Good.
I am furious.
Well, okay, good. Well, use your Netflix money and
now. I fucking will.
shut that down.
I will.
Good. So yeah, I'm not happy about this either. As I say, mainly because it's one of the first films I remember. Like, as in, like, I'm pretty sure it is the first film that I actually remember. Maybe that and The Aristocrats or something like that. You know, the Disney classic.
Solid.
But yeah, but so yeah, I'm whatever. Let's hope it.
Almost ruined my day.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mid
So
podcast.
mid podcast. Yeah, we've still got so much more time to go.
Beautiful thing to hear.
So, Red Dead Redemption 2 got
Oh,
a
yeah.
trailer this week. Have you all seen? You both seen it?
Hola,
Yeah,
yes.
it really, really good trailer. Looks good. I'm really excited about it. Still not confirmed for the PC. So,
Oh no, it's not, is it?
no. And if they do what they did with GTA, I'm not going to be able to play it until 2019,
Yeah.
Until
2020.
Terminator 2 comes
Yeah,
out. or whatever it
basically,
is,
yeah. Because it was 18 whole months we
Till
had to
Blade
wait
Runner
to play
2050.
GTA 5. So, what? Yeah, that's right. Until actually Blade Runner catches up. Until it's So, have you've seen the trailer? It looks good.
Yeah.
It looks
really
another
cool.
classic cinematic from Rockstar.
Rockstar.
They really know how to make cinematic games, don't they?
Yeah.
Tell a
There's
good
no
story.
gameplay footage, though, was there? It was all.
Well, no, but it was all in-engine
Yeah.
rendered and
Yeah,
or
yeah.
in-game rendered. But I mean, it's coming out next year. It's coming out in March time, April, something
It's
like
just
that.
said spring
So
2018.
yeah, so we're going to
Early
start
next
seeing
year.
some gameplay footage soon, I'm sure, which will be good.
What have we got coming up? We got E3 coming up. Is that?
No,
No,
E3
that's already been-
was
It's
that'll
a
be
PlayStation.
that'll be June, July.
PlayStation
So
coming up.
no, I
PlayStation
think we're done
Experience.
with game conferences now. Actually,
What's
Well,
the- there's
TGS
one in
was
December,
the most
isn't there?
recent one,
yeah,
and that's the biggest one I can think
I
of.
don't
There's
know.
one in December.
is there?
I don't know. You guys vamp.
Okay, you look
Okay.
that up. Let's move on to number 7 in the news. So there's a sequel to Lucy in the works. Remember
Oh.
Lucy? The
Fucking shit
The
movie.
Scarlett Johansson.
so
As you were.
yeah, the whole kind of we use 10%. We only use 10% of our brain, which is
is
a
a
load of
bullshit
bollocks.
fact.
That's right. But then suddenly you start using more percentage of your brain, and you turn into
And you got fucking psychic powers and shit.
and you can like swizzle around with reality and everything. I
Yeah.
actually thought it was quite a good film.
I can't bring myself to watch it.
Have you not watched it at all?
No.
Oh, you should watch it. It's a good action film. Like it is. It is. Yeah, no, it's definitely worth seeing. But anyway, there's a sequel in the works. It has a
course.
script. This is quite interesting. It's kind of related to it. Luc Besson, who's the director of it, he also directed Fifth Element.
Yeah.
So his company, Eurocorp, this year lost $135 million. Most likely because Valerian, the City of 1,000 Planets, was such a complete and
What is
utter...
that?
That's
You've
the...
not seen the Valerian movie? It's
No.
the one with Channing Tatum and Mila Kunis.
No,
No, it's not. That's a different movie
no,
I'm talking
no,
about.
that's not. That's the
You're talking about the one with
with the 1,000 Planets.
yeah. What's that chappy's
And-
name that was in Dane DeHaan?
Yeah, that's right.
And
yeah. So this
Cersei
was
Lannister?
supposed to be a
Ah.
huge summer blockbuster based on the graphic novel. You definitely we spoke about it on the podcast. You definitely would have seen the trailer, yeah. And I was really hoping that it was going to be like another Fifth Element type of thing.
Yeah.
But actually, it completely bombed at the box office, and his company's lost 135 million because of it. So, because of that,
make it up with the Lucy
they're going to make it
sequel.
up to a sequel to Lucy. Hopefully, that's the plan. So we might be seeing that quite soon. Whether Scarlett Johansson is coming back for it or not is unconfirmed. But you know, hey ho.
I don't know if they have the money to go that far, do they?
I don't know. But did you see Lucy?
Yeah, I
What
remember
did you
seeing it a
think?
while ago. Well, I remember thinking like this looks like a really good film, and then like being like, oh yeah, this is just an action film, really. There's
No, it
nothing
is. I mean,
deeper to this.
yeah, it is. It's like
I think I expected
balls
more than
deep
what it was going to
action.
be, but
I just
wasn't
thought
impressed,
it was a really. You should definitely see it. It is a good action film.
I've seen the trailer and I just hate the premise of it.
No, the premise is completely ridiculous, but it is actually a good.
I've already
action
seen
film.
what is the one with Bradley Cooper with the tablet?
Limitless.
Oh,
yeah.
Limitless. That's a good film. I
And
quite like that.
that was but I mean,
I
because
like
that
the
doesn't.
idea.
Yeah, because
That
that
doesn't
could
stray
happen.
from reality, really.
Yeah, you know, that yeah. Did you see the series?
Oh, I heard that was shit.
Yeah,
It
it
was
got
terrible.
cancelled after one series.
I
I
wa-
never even watched it.
I watched
so-
like maybe 7 or 8 episodes.
Oh wow! So you got quite far because
They,
only like
they're
13
all
or
exactly
something.
the same.
Oh right.
It's,
What,
it's just
something
like it's like a
happens,
monster of the week type series.
Something happens. He has to take a tablet. He takes the tablet. He solves it. I'm guessing that's kind of the.
That's
yeah,
essentially
sure.
it. Yeah.
But Bradley Cooper's in it, isn't he?
In the first episode for a minute, yeah.
Oh, that's it. He's not in it for anything else.
I didn't see him. I think he pops in occasionally, just like how often Mark Wahlberg popped into Entourage.
Oh sure.
Because
Okay.
you guys both watch Entourage. didn't you?
No.
Oh,
No, I watched.
big fan.
I actually watched the first series of Entourage, and then I stopped watching it because I got fed up with the premise, which is these guys that have got millions and millions of pounds and live absolutely amazing lives, and they just hate everything about their lives.
So
and
I
I
can
was
relate
just,
though. So.
well, sure, but I was just like,
as your average
I'm like,
person,
I'm on a minimum wage job. I absolutely hate my life. Why am I watching this? It really pissed me off. That
See, the
that
only
series
reason I watched it,
really got to
the
me.
entire series,
Was to watch Mark Wahlberg.
no, it was because obviously we listened to the Week of Planet, and they were going to do an episode on the Entourage movie, and I couldn't listen to that episode
Until you
to
watched.
watch the movie, but I couldn't watch the movie until
Until
I
you
watched
watched
all of the
everything.
series. So I watched all of the series in like 2.5 weeks, and then the movie, and then I listened to the episode, and I was
Wow.
like, that was a waste of time.
That was a good, yeah, okay.
that's
I
the biggest
completely
investment
forgot-
in nothing
Yeah.
I
ever.
completely forgot they made a movie.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, because he doesn't the main actor, the character actor in that, play Aquaman at some
He
point.
does, yeah,
And it's a
at the end
James
of the
Cameron
first season,
Aquaman, isn't it?
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. I remember that from the first series, and that's all I watched.
Yeah,
So,
and at the end of the last season, like at the beginning of the movie, he makes a movie about what's that drug dealer's name again? That was Narcos. In Narcos.
Pablo
oh,
Escobar.
Pablo.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Pablo.
sure it was about him.
Oh,
Pretty sure
really?
it was, yeah.
Okay.
Like that's the whole premise, and like in the movie, it's like well, the reviews are coming out because he wanted to direct it, and that's pretty much how the series ended. And then the
Okay.
movie was all that part after that.
Okay. I will.
I might be getting my timeline mixed up because, like I said, I watched it all in about 2.5 weeks.
I'll be honest, it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter because I'm never going to watch it.
It was
so-
an HBO show as well.
Was it?
Yeah.
Jesus. God, their shows have got much better. Anyway, Sony has announced a new Men in Black film is in the works.
Oh, hooray.
This is going to be a spin-off film with 2 new characters, potential to have cameos from
Tommy Lee Jones
and Will Smith.
Oh,
But this is
about Frank?
potentially, maybe Frank, but this is potentially a replacement for the rumoured 21 Jump Street
crossover thing.
because apparently, so Jonah Hill was interviewed last year, and he was saying that he really wanted to do it. It was his idea. Let's do a crossover, 23 Jump Street with Men in Black, but Sony wanted to use it to kind of reboot the Men in Black franchise, and then he was like, well, that's not really the premise of what the sequels to 21 Jump Street are. They're kind of taking the piss out of formulas and tropes and things like that, and apparently like it just they had 2 completely different visions. So there's a rumor that this sequel to Men in Black is going to use a lot of the assets and pre-production and stuff that they've been using for 23 Jump Street, which is a real shame because I would have loved to have seen the 23 the
So there's
21
not
Jump
gonna be
Street crossover. It's still up in the air, nothing's confirmed. So
But are we getting a 23 Jump Street?
well,
I mean,
Is
that's
that
already
is
slated,
that the
isn't
one
it?
that's
maybe. Well, yeah, but it was going to be the Men in Black crossover.
Yeah.
So
okay, yeah.
so who knows? This could still end up being the crossover. This was picked up from an investors call with Sony investors and stuff. So they may be keeping strim about the details. I mean, who knows with these things? But either way, what do we think to going back to the Men in Black universe? Because I think it's quite cool.
Yeah, that's fine. But
Didn't we just have a discussion about Hollywood not being able to come up with their own ideas?
Well, yes, but there are.
I remember
But
there
as
was
far
at
as it
least
goes,
one of us that
there
was
are,
quite heated about it.
But I quite like. But the thing is, I'm a big franchise fan, particularly if they're science
You've
fiction
got a
franchise.
franchise of Marvel tattoos.
Well, there you go. Exactly. I've got all the films tattooed on my back. Yes, and
neck.
and yeah, and all right. I ran out of space because there's so many goddamn films.
It's because 1/3 of your back was the Logan.
And the other third was my
entire back piece.
Stanley Lee
Yeah.
Stanley. I don't even know who I've got tattooed on my back anymore.
You've got a Looper
Stan
forearm
Lee.
tattoo.
That's
yeah.
right, I do. But no, I really like the Men in Black universe and the franchise and stuff. I like the first film. The second film was awful. The third one I actually recently rewatched on Netflix, and I actually
I kind of like the third movie.
when he goes back in time. That's quite a good one.
Yeah,
So,
I rewatched the first one a couple of weeks back as well.
Yeah, it's just
yeah.
the second one I remember being really
I
bad.
can't remember
not
much of
fun.
The second one.
Is that the one with there was a fucking bulldog in there or some shit?
That's Frank, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, Frank's in the first one.
Is he?
Yeah,
Yeah, Frank's the bulldog.
Well, he like,
He's
is he
pug.
talking in
the
the first
pug.
one?
That's what I mean.
Oh.
Yeah, he's in the first two films. He's not in the third film.
He's also in the first one.
Yeah, well, yeah, he is. But I don't know. As long as they make another Men in Black film, that'd be quite cool. I think. I don't know. We'll see. And finally on the news, because I had to squeeze in some DC cinematic
Hatred.
universe news. So all the kind of DC execs got together for Variety magazine to have a roundtable discussion about the fate, or the future, I should say. Fate, that makes it sound really negative. I'm not being that negative. The future of the DC universe. And basically they say they know exactly
Playing
what...
with my foot.
Is that... It's not,
you keep poking my foot.
not
with your
intentionally. I thought it was the side of the
What is
PC.
that?
This is getting weird in here, now, guys.
I'm now playing footsie with David, apparently. DC say, apparently, that they know exactly what they're doing, and they're trying to build a cinematic landscape that is different to Marvel's. So they don't want to build a big
I think
franchise.
they've already succeeded in doing that.
It's definitely
We're just going to make
different.
something shit, something really big, a really big
But
pile
this
of
is
turd.
so basically this is kind of confirms rumors that they're kind of potentially going to drop the continuity, the universe, or if they do, maybe only release a film every few years that
They're going to do
ties
like
it in.
a DCEU and emoji movie crossover.
Hey,
I'd love
potentially
that.
that's definitely going to be
Batman
different to
versus
Marvel.
Emoji Man.
Yeah, or
That's gonna be
Batman
the-
versus Poop Emoji.
Ooh.
Who would win?
That would be, I mean, that's a fight for the century, surely.
There
and
we
you
go.
have Patrick Stewart as Alfred.
Well, no, because he and the
yeah.
poop. Yeah, wow. Yeah, just so he could show his range.
Yeah.
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 So
he wins an Oscar for main actor and supporting actor.
and supporting actor. Yeah, sure. Anyway, so because they're going to be doing lots of different films. They're going to be making the Joker prequel that isn't really necessarily part of the universe. They want to tell like Elseworld stories. So there's a Elseworld comic book where Superman lands in Russia instead of America.
Yeah. Superman Red Sun.
Yeah, so they quite fancy kind of going down those types of routes and making
That
those
sounds
types
fun.
of films.
That's
So-
actually really good comic book.
It
as
is
well.
really good, yeah. So I'm kind of, I think that's fine and that's great. And DC, do whatever the hell you want, but that's still not going to help you with Justice League, is it? Really, let's be honest.
No.
You know, and how bad that's going to be, and then the Flash, and I don't know. They don't know what they're doing, really. They say they know what they're doing, but they're just trying to.
I feel like they've focused on the universe part too hard with it, to be honest. They could have done it in a more subtle way and not have everyone be involved in all this shit, or just have the Justice League to be a thing, but...
Yeah.
When does Justice League come out?
Oh, I don't know.
Next
November
year,
the
maybe.
No,
5th?
it's just
What, this year?
Yeah, it's this year.
Yeah, it's
Ooh,
November
child.
the 5th, I think. Something like
Is it that soon?
Yeah, it is. I'm going to have to look it up
It's
now.
next month.
Yeah, it is.
I'm just going to get absolutely blinding drunk and go watch it
November
by
the
myself.
17th. So, yeah. The new tagline is, you can't save the world alone. No, you can't.
That's shit. That's just shit.
How many posters do you reckon will be vandalised? Would they about World and replace it with a movie?
Hey, well, lots now. Yeah.
You heard it here first. Martin's going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm taking that.
Hashtag not world movie. I don't know. Is that how
That's a
hashtags
terrible
work?
hashtag.
I don't know.
Go with hashtag shit instead.
Hashtag shit.
Just hashtag Marvel tattoo.
Sure, yeah, okay.
Hashtag Logan
So there we go.
sequel.
That's all the news that I've got.
Hashtag Looper Logan 10 out of 10.
Anyway, that's all the news that I've got for this week. Would you guys like to add anything to the news?
I don't think so.
No?
No.
Nothing newsworthy has come across your radars this week to
Nothing
do
really
with
happened
all
this week,
things
did it?
geeky. No, it was a really slow news week, actually.
Yeah.
I struggled to find that many pieces of news,
Let me
if
have a
I'm
look.
honest.
If I'm honest, let's just wait for David to find some news, shall we?
No, I
Yeah,
did
let's
say
just,
the links,
I'll
but I can't
don't.
remember
No,
what it
it's
is.
fine, David. I'll
No,
wait.
you just wait.
Bruce Willis is going to return for Die Hard 6.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yep.
They're making.
And also Liam Neeson's unretired from action movies as well.
That was a week. That was a week.
So here's a Liam Neeson thing. I've been watching the Orville, which is I spoke about last week, which is the Seth MacFarlane kind of take on Star Trek and all of that.
Yep.
And they were doing their thing, and it was at the end of the episode, and they just saved a race their ship was floating through space, and they'd saved them, and they were playing the final captain's logs from the ship, and Liam Neeson pops up, and it's him in alien makeup, like delivering the lines like a boss. Yeah, it was really
nice.
cool. It was really good. It was a nice little cameo. I was like, I know that guy. Yeah.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Cersei Lannister.
No, it's Cersei
Cersei
Lannister. So
Sarah
what? So
Connor.
Liam Neeson. How is Liam Neeson unretired from action films? Is he making an action
He
film?
said they will have to like physically move him off a set if he's like or something like that. He said something along the lines of basically he's going to keep doing him until he
I
dies.
reckon what happened is he just
Right.
tried gardening, and then he was like, "This is shit. I'm going
Yeah.
back."
Or somebody offered him a boat ton of money, and he was like, "Yeah, sure, okay, I'll come back
Sure,
and run around and shoot people."
I'll be
why
the
not?"
new Batman.
Yeah. Oh, that would be awesome.
I'll save it.
No, he could be fucking Gary Oldman.
Okay, he could be Gary Oldman.
He could
Yeah.
be Gary Oldman.
Commissioner Gordon.
No, Gary Oldman.
Oh, okay.
Gary
You-
Oldman.
just
by
like
it.
you get Gary Oldman in for a film, and you
yeah.
get Liam Neeson.
He
Actually,
could be Gary Oldman He could play Gary Oldman playing Commissioner Gordon.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, wow, that would. Do you think he's got the range for that?
No, Gary Oldman's doing the Winston Churchill movie next.
Yeah, but not. I'm not
Oh,
talking
yeah, I
Gary
saw
Oldman.
that.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, right, let's move on.
Liam Neeson would never play Winston Churchill as an Irishman, surely.
Exactly.
Also, Bruce Willis. Don't want to see Die Hard. I'll just say that about.
I
him.
haven't seen the Die Hard where he goes to. Does
he have a Die Hard with a
Russia
kid
Mother
or something?
Russia.
with his son?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
But his
in
son's
Russia,
all
yeah.
grown up.
Yeah,
I
it's,
haven't seen that.
oh,
Die
who
Hard
is it?
5. I haven't seen
Is
that.
it Jai Courtney?
Oh,
that plays his
possibly
son?
actually. I think
Oh,
it may
God.
be. Yeah, I've never seen that film. I
didn't
have
see that
no
far.
desire to watch that at all. I quite enjoyed Die Hard 4
The one
4.0.
with Justin Long.
with
Justin, yeah.
no, but they had
Kevin
the
Smith.
no, wasn't it Shia LaBeouf in it, wasn't it?
No, there was Justin.
No,
Long,
that's
wasn't
Indiana Jones Crystal Skull.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure it was Shia LaBeouf in
it
was
was,
it
it
not?
was Justin Long.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the dude that gets spanners thrown at him in Dodgeball.
it? In Dodgeball. Oh,
Ah, yes.
the one with
okay,
the
you're right,
incredibly
yes.
long face.
Cheapest Creepers.
Yes, yeah.
Mhm.
Other various movies he's been in.
But that was actually that was quite good actually. That one, Die Hard 4.
He's
I
in.
thought.
Transformers.
No, that's Shia LaBeouf.
That is Shia LaBeouf. Why am I thinking he's like a techie guy in some other film?
He does like computer hacking.
That's
hacking.
his like range, isn't it?
Yeah.
Computer hacky, weedy
it's-
guy.
What's incredible about that is when it's one of the worst things I've ever seen for computer hacking in movies.
But is it Die Hard 4?
Yeah, because he
Right.
has like a rubber keyboard, and then like they're like, "Oh, we need to stop
he
the
just-
system," and he unrolls the keyboard and
Yeah.
then just starts typing. Doesn't try and connect it to anything or
Bluetooth,
plug it in.
dude.
Yeah, but Bluetooth doesn't work like that. He just it's like one of those like
You have to
rubber
like
keyboards
sit
and
there
he
for
unrolls
10
Not
it.
when
minutes
you
trying to
have
pair it
Justin
with something,
Long.
don't you?
Justin Long knows Bluetooth like any man does.
Anyway,
I think they just use like Bruce Willis' like shiny skull as like a extra kind
No,
of
I hope it's
like
just
a signal booster.
It's no. What they should do for this new movie is just a shot-for-shot remake of Die Hard 2.
Just behind the scenes version.
No, just do it all again and pretend like it's a whole new thing.
Oh, okay.
And then he will say, "I'm
but
getting too old
have
for
Bruce,
this shit
Bruce
as well."
Willis playing Samuel L. Jackson.
Bruce Willis playing
Bruce
Samuel
Willis.
L. Jackson
And then
playing
Samuel
Nick
L.
Fury
Jackson in
Die Hard.
Deep Blue Sea.
Deep Blue Sea. Anyway, let's move on before we
Deep
go.
Blue Sea on a plane. There we go. Got a new movie.
Deep Blue Sea on a Plane 4.0.
Yeah.
Oh
Reloaded.
my gosh. You
Live.
heard it here first. David's going to use all his Netflix money to make that
Yeah.
a reality.
I'm going to take all the budget from Flight of the Navigator and make
You're
that
going to
movie.
pump it into this
Yeah.
new. Yeah, okay. Anyway, let's talk
Everyone's
about.
going to be called David.
Okay, sure. Can we move on now?
Yippee-ki Dave. Yes, we can move on.
Brilliant. Okay.
Do we
so,
need a jingle for the main part of the episode?
do we need a jingle?
Should we
for
just
the main-
sing the credits song from Blade Runner?
No, that's. Anyway, let's talk about Blade Runner. Blade Runner.
That was the news. And now this is the thing we're going to talk about because we watch it this week.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we really need some proper jingles just to stop
Just
that.
to avoid him.
That's right. Yeah. Anyway, so we're talking about Blade Runner. This is the original Blade Runner film, released on June the 25th, 1982, directed by Ridley Scott, based on the novel "Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep?" Shit. By Philip K. Dick. David was taking a drink of water then, and that's probably the worst thing he could have been doing.
Fizzy stuff went back in my nose.
Yeah,
That's why I don't try it,
Based
dude.
on the novel "Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep" by Philip K. Dick, Jesus, starring Harrison Ford, Rutger Hauer, Sean Young, and Edward James Olmos, who I completely forgot was in this movie, actually.
Good old Eddie J.
It had a budget of only $28 million, of course, adjusted for inflation. That's going to run into
73 million.
250 million. It made
You are way off.
It made 33.8 million in the box office, which adjusted for inflation is $310.2 million.
That's a good profit.
So yeah,
So it
so
made
it actually
100 million.
had quite a big budget, but it barely made anything. So when it was first released, no one knew what it was. It went over budget massively. That it got changed and messed about with by the producers and the executives, and no one really watched it, and they thought it was a bit poo. 30 years later, it's one of the biggest science fiction cult films around. It's obviously inspired pretty much any kind of science fiction, grim, dark film, TV show, anime, anything like that.
Sci-fi in the rain.
Yeah, basically, yeah. If you ever
Sci-fi
see
in the rain,
if it's,
yeah.
if you ever see any film and it's raining and it's a science fiction, that was Blade Runner that did that.
Is there not a scene in this film where it isn't raining and it's outside?
I don't think so. I think it's raining.
I
I think
was-
it's deliberately raining in every scene.
Every
is it
single-
not?
Isn't the part where he has the fight with one of the replicants? It's not raining then.
What, the naked replicant?
I don't think it
The
was
wolf
naked.
dude.
The snake lady.
Oh,
no,
the
no, I'm
snake
talking
lady.
about the dude from the original, like the opening scene where in the interview bit when he fights.
Oh,
him.
yeah, that guy. Well, he doesn't really fight him. He just, like, throws him against the truck.
I mean, they have a fight, so
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Then he gets shot. doesn't he?
it- No, maybe it's not raining.
I don't know.
spoilers.
Well, the film's been out for 35 years. If
Are we
you
just
haven't-
gonna just not care about spoilers? in
If
this
you
bit?
haven't seen it yet,
Okay,
then...
let me just do the spoiler jingle.
Oh my gosh, no. Jesus.
Spoilers.
Yeah, I think that spoilers kind of you can start talking about spoilers after, say 10 years. The film came out in 1982.
Yeah.
I think we can go
That's
full
fair.
on spoilers here.
I always
without
kind of
letting
say like
anybody-
2 weeks for a TV program, and
Yeah.
then like 2 months after the DVD comes out for the.
Well, there you go.
That's
So
a
considering
reasonable
this-
time frame.
That's fairly reasonable. Right?
So even if we take the final DVD release of this, which was in 2008 or something like that, with the
But you got to adjust it for inflation.
What do you even mean?
anyway, but yeah, no. So it's become a cult classic, and obviously they are making a sequel, which is released next week, the Blade Runner 2049, starring Harrison Ford, Jared Leto, and Ryan Gosling.
So 2048 cut of the first Blade Runner movie.
Potentially, yes, yeah. But I think it's going to be a different film. I'm hoping it's going to be a different film. In
Yeah.
fact,
They got
all
a lot
it-
of the visuals kind of
all,
right.
all indications say that it is a different film and not just a recut of Blade Runner.
Could
So
you imagine that?
Well, not
That
just like the same.
that
just
film.
like-
everyone is lying to us, and we go
Yeah.
and sit in the cinema.
They just
and
like
it's just a different
superimpose like Ryan Gosling's face on someone else.
onto Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
So was this the first time that you guys had seen it? You seen it before?
Seen it about 20 years ago.
Yeah, I it's about the time I saw it. I remember watching it on VHS, 15 years ago, something like that. I think it was probably on TV at some point as well,
Yeah.
like BBC or ITV, like actual terrestrial TV. So I think I'd definitely seen it. Had you seen it before you watched it?
I didn't think I'd seen it before, but like seeing some of the bit, especially the crazy lady. I think I've caught bits of this film before.
Yeah, sure.
But this is the first time seeing it in entirety.
Yeah.
You
So-
might have seen the last scene as well, where they're like on the roof before he releases.
Yeah,
it.
it's quite
Good
famous, quite a famous scene.
Yeah.
And so I never, to my knowledge anyway, I couldn't remember the storyline all the way through. So it was quite nice to actually finally sit down and go, right, I'm actually going to watch this film now. And
to have a reason to watch it rather than it just being on,
That's
and then
right,
it's already 20
yeah.
minutes into it and you just keep watching it.
what did we think to it? Was it a good film?
It was a lot slower than I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very 80s, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
and so we can't really shit on it
Can't
for
be
that
too
because
hard on it.
it was made in 1982. But it's not quite as slow as a lot of other films that come out that time. Like Ridley Scott knows how to kind of keep keep you entertained. And
Yeah,
keep the
yeah.
pace running.
It's just enough pace-wise for me personally to not be too boring.
That's
But
right.
it did move very slowly. But I don't know. Being a final cut, I think pacing-wise is probably
Yeah,
good.
so we both watched the final cut, which is the definitive version where Ridley Scott went back, trimmed some scenes, tightened up a lot of the visual effects and things like that, added in some scenes that we'll talk about whether Deckard is a replicant or not. We'll talk about that in a minute. You watched, we think, the original theatrical
no
release,
idea
but
which
you
version.
or the original home release or something. So. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it was just
but
on.
you were saying that like the sound was really bad on yours and stuff like that. I think we were talking about it in the pub.
I didn't say that. Jess said
Oh,
that.
Jess said that. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
I mean, it's just the same with any old movie. You know, the sound's never quite as good as it.
You see, on
Could
mine,
be
I watched the Blu-ray
Yeah,
version.
I
final
don't
cut.
think mine was remastered at
No,
all. I
it
think mine
was-
would have just been the original release.
Yeah.
I think it's probably like taken from the same reel of film that was used 1,000 times in a cinema. As well.
Yeah, but that's it. Yeah, and just put onto VHS and then just
Yeah.
whatever.
Saying that though, the remastered one, I had to turn mine like volume-wise right up just
really?
to make sure I was getting everything.
So I didn't have to do that. I rented mine from Amazon or something for $3.99. So it was top class digital quality. It was really good.
$3.99. So you didn't even go with the HD version. You went for the SD version.
Was it? No, it was the HD. I got the
okay.
HD version. Was that not $3.99? I'm sure it was $3.99.
When I got Fences a couple of weeks back, that was $4.99. I think.
Oh wow!
for-
No,
for
this
them.
was definitely $3.99.
You can only watch it once as well. It's not like you rent it for
No,
like 3 days. You watch it once, and
that's
if you
it.
start watching it, you have 7 days to finish, or 3 days to
No,
finish
you have
watching
no.
it.
It's that you have it 7 days to watch it. When you start watching it, you have to watch it within 48 hours.
So it
Yeah.
starts a timer when you start watching
Basically, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I was like, right, am I ready to watch this film now?
It's
yes, I am.
ridiculous.
Press play.
Like that's not how you rent things.
That's not.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it would have been
Fucking-
nice to have been able to rewatch it, to go back but I can't now. So
Yeah, I think there's a lot of hidden meanings behind some of the characters in here as well. That I was like, got to the end of the film and I was like, there's something I'm not quite getting.
So I mean, it's a cult classic for a reason. You can at one stage you could do like a degree on this. The people have written papers on the meaning of Blade Runner and the subtext and the themes and everything. There's an entire Wikipedia page dedicated to the themes of Blade Runner.
Yeah.
So it's quite deep, and we're probably not going to go into that here. I don't think. I mean, unless you guys
The only
have
theme I got
researched
from
the
it
themes.
was life is finite.
Yeah, everybody dies.
Everybody
basically.
dies,
Yeah,
yeah.
It's a good
even
song.
if that's Everybody Hurts. I'm
No,
thinking
Everybody Dies is by a band called The Hell.
of. Okay, never heard of them.
No one's heard of them.
But anyway, we're talking Blade Runner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, we've talked about what we thought of it. What did we think to the story? So you've got these Nexus 6, which are these 4 kind of on the run replicants, and they've come to Earth because they don't want to die, basically.
Yeah.
And they've started developing memories, their own emotional responses to things.
Feelings.
The Blade Runner, is it weird that they're called Blade Runners?
It's a really fucking cool name.
It's an
I
awesome
feel like they were
name.
like sat there and like, hey, what are we gonna call the guys that hunt down the replicants? It's a fucking Blade Runner.
Blade
dude.
Runners, and there's
Like,
this really
nice.
cool moment where Harrison Ford's in a car, and like this police hover vehicle comes down and goes, "Hey, what are you doing here? This area's cut off from ground traffic." And he's like, "I'm working. What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm gonna arrest you." And he's like, "I'm a Blade Runner. It's cool.
like,
Here's
"Oh."
my authorization code." And they're like, "Oh yeah, okay. No,
Thanks.
you have a good one.
Have a nice day.
Have a good day. Thanks very much. Yeah.
And then it like shoots out like a jet of steam, and it's like, why would it even need to do that? But
Yeah.
sure. 80s sci-fi effects.
But and they have like the machine that can all the technology in this is very 80s.
Oh, it's so
Yeah,
funny.
80s
isn't it?
sci-fi.
So funny.
Like it's
The way that they predicted the future was everything would have more lights.
yeah. And
and everything is like Japanese or Chinese or something as well, and it's like,
Yeah, well, they
What?
they kind of reference that in the movie that because they would what did they call the language that everyone was?
it's called Sato or something like that. It's called.
Yeah, because it was just like a mixed match of everything.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
kind
but
of
Harrison
said
Ford doesn't speak it.
So that
that- he understands it, but he doesn't speak it.
Yeah. So that's actually there's a theory. So you ever we talked about this a few weeks ago. I don't think you have, but there's a really cool science fiction show called Firefly. Josh Whedon, sci-fi
Whedon.
Whedon, whatever.
Joss.
Joss, yeah. In that they speak a mixture of American and Chinese, and the reason for that is in the future it's most likely the Chinese and the Americans that will go into space. So like their cultures then will merge together. And I think that's what they're trying to kind of do here, is that the two biggest nations have taken over the planet, and then therefore the languages have all just become. But it's a bit like the language is supposed to be a bit like Esperanto. You know, it's like it's a worldwide language. Everybody speaks it, or at least understands it, and therefore you can speak to anyone. But it's it's an interesting film. It's not one that I would. I don't really like. It's a cult classic, but it's not one that I would go back and rewatch.
Yeah, I think it's like back in the day because we've watched so many sci-fi films that have been influenced by this. I think watching it now is kind of like a bit underwhelming, because you're expecting like one of the best sort of most influential and amazing films, but it's not quite on that level. It's a good film, don't get me wrong, but it's just, I don't know, I think I was expecting quite a lot more from it.
I really was expecting to be really blown away. And I was actually quite looking forward to it. I was like, right, here we go. I'm watching the definitive version. I'm watching it in high def, remastered, and this is kind of completely inspired a generation of science fiction movies. Yeah, cool. And I was like, it was just a bit boring, a bit slow. The story didn't really do much. The whole final fight scene between him and Rutger Hauer was just weird.
That was strange. That was really
fucking strange. Like stabbing a nail through his hand. And
dude, what the fuck?
I think, right, so there's, you mentioned the crazy lady, the crazy replicant, right? So she just suddenly started going crazy. Presumably that was her dying.
Like malfunctioning.
Yeah.
Because she'd reached the end. And then Rutger Hauer says the line just before he puts the nail through his head, like, oh, not yet, not now. And then obviously he dies like 10 minutes later. So was the nail maybe to prevent him from dying? Maybe if he was feeling pain?
Like I thought he'd like, I don't know, frozen
maybe
his
it was to
hand
test him,
shit.
like to see how long he had left. Like, because if he could still feel it,
it was just
then he knew he was still kind of working and he was able to fight.
Yeah,
for it,
see, because at first, because I saw Harrison Ford hurt his hand, and I thought at first that he'd seen Harrison Ford hurt his hand. He was like, well, I'm going to hurt my hand as well to make it a fair fight or something like that.
Yeah.
And then I saw that all it was he'd broken like his finger or something like that.
Yeah. He managed to like reset one and then like
break
tie
his
by the end
finger.
of the fight.
He obviously, when he like grabbed his hand through the wall and then just like bent his fingers completely the wrong way. And then he was like, have the gun back.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool, though, because he's like, well, I've just broken your fingers. Good luck shooting that gun. But then he's like, well, I've got a left hand too.
So it was, it was a bit. I don't know. There were moments in it
when he got smashed in the head with a pole, and he was like, "That was really mean."
That wasn't very nice of you.
Yeah, yeah. So, favorite bits from the movie? What was like? What did you? What would you? Yeah, what was your favorite scene, action sequence? What was something that was outstanding for you?
Yeah, the final scene was cool. It was fucking weird, but I mean, what parts of that film weren't massively weird? I thought that was cool.
So the very last bit where he's he gives his Tears in the Rain speech. All these memories will be lost like tears in the rain. That apparently was written by improvised, written by Rutger Hauer. So there was a different final speech, and he was like, no, that's crap. I've written this, and he just delivered this speech completely off the cuff type thing. And the whole dove part, the dove, that was all him as well. Apparently, he was like, when I die, Ridley, Mr. Scott, whatever, I'm going to release a dove. And apparently Ridley Scott was like, no, you're not. He was like, no, I am. Otherwise, I'm leaving. I'm walking out now. And apparently he was like, no, when my character dies, I want a dove to fly up. So,
the dove just came out of nowhere as well.
Well,
he
climbed to the roof. He saw the Harrison Ford character struggling, and then suddenly he's just holding it, and he jumps across with it. And I'm just like...
See, I thought I missed something, because I had no recollection of him having a dove near him or anything. You
didn't miss anything.
Okay,
it was just he didn't have one, and then he did have one.
Because I thought,
that was because
I think my phone bleeped or something, so I looked at my phone and then looked back, and then obviously
he
was
dying, and then a dove flew up.
This is all part of Rutger Hauer just changing up the end part to his character to make it more whatever. But that speech, I think one of the best speeches in film. I really, really like it. It's nice and short. It's really evocative. Like he's this was it kind of military replicant, and he's talking about things that we will never see, because we don't fight in space, and those memories will just disappear like tears in the rain, and it's raining, and he's probably crying, and I just think that's really. I don't usually go into a lot of subtext with films, but that was quite.
I think that was the part that I sort of went, oh, okay, like this really encapsulates the theme that I'm seeing for this, and I think it did it very well. That's probably
my favourite scene, that bit as well. Although I do, What about you, David? A favourite part of the film?
No, like you said, I enjoyed the ending. I mean, the end fight scene. I guess you can kind of call it a fight scene. It was like a chase and a fight
sequence.
Yeah, that was cool. It was different. Because it wasn't. It's not your standard. Because nowadays it would have been a lot of parkour and stuff. Jumping through different doors where you close one door and then you jump through different things.
This is just lots of Harrison Ford grunting as he's holding onto ledges.
Because he was like, he knew that he was like,
walls.
he had to kind of fight, but he couldn't fight at the same time.
Yeah.
But I also like the fact that his only form of escape was to climb up higher on the outside of a building as well.
Yes. Yeah. Makes perfect sense. Surely. Thing, yeah. Okay, so the big question, and I say this is a question because it's apparently it's not, and if you speak to Ridley Scott, he'll just call you fucking stupid for even asking it. But is Deckard a replicant or not? So in the cut that you would have watched, there was no ambiguity. He's not. Of course, he's not a replicant. He's a human. He's a Blade Runner.
Well,
In our version, it is pretty much definitively shown that he is actually a replicant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is the dude that is kind of chasing. Well, not chasing. He's the one.
No, this is Harrison Ford's character.
Oh, okay.
Harrison Ford is a replicant in Blade Runner.
See, I swear, the version I watched, it wasn't even like questioned or considered. They didn't reference it.
It wasn't because
like,
so basically, this is one of the many kind of production problems it had, is that Ridley Scott really wanted to put this across that no, Deckard is a replicant and he doesn't know he is, and this is one of the themes of the film. And halfway through, there's this unicorn dream sequence, which was in our version, but isn't in yours because the executives cut it out. And then at the very end, when he's leaving with Rachel, the other replicant, and he picks up the little origami unicorn, that is to show that
the other guy knows.
Edward James Olmos has read his file and knows who he is and has read his memories, his insected memories, which of course was this unicorn. And that, definitively. And that's one of the things that he changed, that Ridley Scott changed in the final cut, was he went back and he put that sequence back in. So there was no ambiguity, because he was fed up with people for 30 odd years, or 25 at the time, talking about, is he, isn't he, isn't he? He's like, yeah, no, he is. He always has been. Let me put this in.
It's like in 15 years' time, so Christopher Nolan's going to turn around and be like, no, it wasn't a dream.
Quite possibly,
yeah. Because at the moment he's like, people are asking me this, that, and the other. He's going to turn and he'd be like, for fuck's sake, look, I made it incredibly obvious because it was on the screen.
Yes.
It wobbled. Did it wobble when it was in the safe? No, it didn't. Quite clearly, he's not in a dream.
Yeah, and then he'll release a final cut where it just falls down or something like that.
Yeah, or it'd be like, fuck you, it's not a dream. Just like an end slate.
But yeah, so I mean, so knowing that, does that change your view on the film at all? That Deckard is a replicant?
It kind of makes sense, though.
Yeah,
it kind of makes sense for the rest of the movie as well.
Because the Blade Runners are replicants.
They make replicants to do a job they don't want to do, so they make a replicant to go and collect other replicants.
Yeah,
he has like pictures on his piano or something like that.
Yeah, so this is all part of the fact that
his fabricated part.
That's it. So he himself is a Nexus 6. They've given him memories to be better at his job.
Yeah, because if they don't know that they're replicants, then it's going to be easier for them to convince other people they're not, and they can go and do what they want to do.
And then it also adds more themes into it. So when he then meets, that's it. And when he meets Rachel, it's that kind of whole a replicant telling another replicant that they're not human.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is that actually his character, his version of the replicant has found humanity, so much so that he can help another replicant find their humanity. And it's just layers and layers and layers of subtext, and then suddenly you start thinking, I kind of understand why this is such a cult film and why this is such a popular film, because actually it's not just a standard sci-fi film. It's not like a Marvel film or whatever where there's no subtext. It just tells a good story and it just goes bam bam bam, there you go. this is actually it's got deep meaning to
Layers
it. There
and
was
layers.
layers
It's
and
one
layers.
of those films that I wanted to read a lot more about it afterwards, but it's one of those things that I'd read more into it and around these things and the theories and be like, oh, actually that gives me a fresh perspective and a better understanding.
See, this thing, like, so
appreciation.
Now I've read all of this stuff in anticipation for this podcast. After watching it, I want to go back and watch it, but god damn it, I'm not paying another $3.99 to rent it from Amazon. So it's just a bit frustrating, really. But it's nice that I've got this complete idea.
Yeah.
But so this is the thing: is that the writers of 2049 Blade Runner have been asked, which version do you watch? Do you watch the version where it is proved exclusively that Harrison Ford's character is a replicant? Because obviously Harrison Ford is in the new movie.
Yeah.
We know that because he's in the trailers. Or do you watch the version where it's a bit ambiguous? And they were like, hey, you just watch the version that you want to watch. And it's like, that doesn't help.
That doesn't tell me anything.
Because is Harrison Ford's character in the new film a replicant or not? So we don't know if we're going to find out definitively.
Maybe that would be a good part of the story then. Or maybe that would be the question hanging over it.
Yeah, but the question is, if he is a human and it's revealed that he's a human, or at least proven that he's not a replicant, that would just shit all over Ridley Scott's vision.
Do replicants age, though? Because they're only around for a certain amount of years.
Well, this is the thing.
Well, surely his character should have died then. Or it would die in a
few
years' time.
the Terminator Genesis version of events, where the skin on the outside.
Yeah, that's right. Well, he's actually, funnily enough, now you mentioned that, James Cameron's actually using that same argument to have Schwarzenegger in the next film as well.
Brilliant.
Nice.
So he will be an old Terminator,
Great stuff.
rather than a digital de-aged Terminator. So hey ho. But we don't know. This is the thing. So maybe part of the film 2049 will be explaining how Harrison Ford's character has survived so long.
Or
maybe he found a way of.
Maybe he's a Nexus 7.
Or this is it. We just don't know. But I quite like.
6P.
But I just quite
6S.
Yes, 6S. So I quite like that, knowing that ambiguity
X.
going into the new film, which we're seeing this week.
Cool.
So yeah. Anything else you guys want to say about Blade Runner?
We're gonna guess whether or not Ryan Gosling's a replicant.
A replicant.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't think they'd play the same
card.
No, but I don't.
again.
Whether or not they're gonna make it
a big point of this plot or not. Or they just do it at the end again.
I think not. I think he's going to be human. I think it's going to be about other things.
What about Jared Leto?
Well, he's
a replicant making
no, I mean
a
in real life, is he a replicant?
Almost
100%.
Yeah, almost certainly. Yeah,
absolutely.
Sure. Definitely. Do you know that he is now, we're diverging now, but he's now actually, possibly, to his performances. That was really bad, sorry. No, he's now denying that he ever sent used condoms to his fellow cast members on Suicide Squad, despite the fact that less than a year ago he went on film saying, I sent used condoms to my fellow cast members to get into character. He's like completely just...
Why would you backtrack on that? That just looks weirder.
Because he's weird.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, did he just say that kind of like in the heat of the moment? Is there like, I did all these things?
Or is he
No, I think he's so sick and tired of people bringing it up. He's like, no, it never happened. So like he's trying to backtrack it because
it'll go away quicker if you just go with it.
Yeah, just
leave it. Or maybe he's so much into his newest character.
Tell people not to care about that and to watch Dallas Buyers Club.
Yeah.
Is he in that?
Dude, yeah.
I've never watched
He
that.
plays
Good.
a transsexual. Very good performance.
Apparently it's very, very good. McConaughey won the... I thought McConaughey won the Oscar for it.
Or did Jared Leto win it?
No, I'm pretty sure it was Leto, yeah.
I'm sure it was
he was definitely nominated. I know that for a fact.
So this is the Blade Runner
Divergent.
talking about, was it Dallas Buyers Club?
Yeah.
Dallas Buyers. I'm sure it was McConaughey. Why did I think it was...
McConaughey was in it.
Yeah, I'm sure, and I'm sure he was the one that got the...
both of them won.
I wouldn't be surprised if both of them were nominated for it, but I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure they were both nominated.
Praise for the performances. Most praise for performances of McConaughey and Leto, who received... Oh, they both got actors, best actor and best supporting actor.
Oh.
There you go. So everyone got Oscars.
Everyone wins.
But who's the lead in it? Is it McConaughey?
McConaughey, yeah.
So McConaughey got best actor,
Leading.
and then Leto got
Supporting.
best supporting. There we go. That's cool. I do actually need to watch that. It's on my
really good film.
It was on Netflix for a long time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah, I
Damn
think
it.
so.
Oh well. Anyway, let's bring it back to Blade Runner. Let's just do a little conclusion. So,
well, no,
watching...
let me say something about Blade Runner.
Please.
I've got another point. The visual
do.
style in the film obviously influenced a lot of things with the, as you say, the dark and the lights and all that, and the cityscape and
Giant
the rain.
pyramids and
it was fucking cool. Like
and...
it's a good-looking film, especially in the cut I watched, because obviously it's remastered.
Yeah.
I don't know if it held up so much in the older one, but really good-looking film. Everything about it, it's like the idea of the universe that it's lived in. Everything's gritty. Everything's, you know.
I like the idea of like the big metropolis, sprawling metropolis, where everything's a city, and you've got the low bits of the city, and then the higher bits.
You've got this bloke who lives in his ivory tower, and then you've got this woman sleeping on a street.
Ivory pyramid, pretty much.
Ivory pyramid,
Sorry to cut in there. Obviously, 2049 in the trailer, you see the pyramids.
Yes.
Does that mean that the world that they were living in before, the city obviously from the original movie, is now desolated land?
I don't know. I think it's just it's moved on. It's what 40 years later, isn't it?
Maybe they moved to space.
Yeah,
we'll find out.
Living in the sky.
And from what I can tell in the trailer, there's a lot more like sunsetty kind of tones.
They're going to different locations.
Yeah, it's in daylight.
It's in daylight. Right, It's not just raining still.
No, but you're right. That and considering that that visual style had never been seen before, in a science fiction setting.
To see that, you're like, holy shit! It's almost like sci-fi noir a little bit.
Well, that's
obviously with the voiceovers and everything.
That's exactly what it is. I mean, that's like that's what he wanted to do, tell that story in that kind of. But you're right. And looks beautiful,
incredible looking.
And actually, to be honest with you, watching the version that I watched, there was only a couple of bits of really bad compositing, and that was like when he was being taken to the police station, and there were these other police cars that kind of came in, and it was just obviously models on a green screen, and it just looked really bad. But the rest of it, all the special effects and the graphics and stuff, looked really, really good.
Looked really cool.
So it's definitely one of those. It's one of those science fiction worlds that I don't think I actually want to go and visit.
Yeah,
it's
like so gritty, and you're like, oh, that's
dirty and horrible.
It's more realistic than these, like, I don't know, really glossed up.
I'd rather go to Star Trek world any day.
Yeah,
You
want to get a Tony Stark's mansion as well.
Tony Stark's mansion, Stark Towers.
Climb inside his Iron Man suit.
I do. I want to climb inside Tony Stark's Iron Man suit.
And then be Iron Man?
Weird.
You were trying to make that weird. I'm going to unweird that for you.
Anyway, do we have anything else to say about Blade Runner? Thoughts or what you liked, what you didn't like? Would you recommend it as a standalone film? Someone says, "Oh, have you got a really good science fiction film to say?" Would you say watch Blade Runner?
I would say watch. I wouldn't necessarily be like, "Oh my god, this is amazing." I'd be like, if you want to see an interesting film and maybe something that is the building block of modern sci-fi, then go and watch this.
There's two different questions really, because it could be, should I watch Blade Runner?
Yeah.
And you go, yeah. Or if they go, have you got a really good science fiction movie that you know, I think I've got like 2 hours to kill. Like there's other movies you would recommend because, like I said, it is slow. You've got to watch it when you want to watch Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't be like, you know, if someone goes, oh, have you got a really good science fiction action movie that you can watch? But like, Looper. Every day, just watch Looper.
No, it's a terrible film. No, I would recommend it as a film, like as you quite rightly say. I can understand why it's become a cult classic, and I would recommend it for that reason. It's a good film. Watch it for that. But if you just want to watch a good science fiction film, it's actually not that great because it's very 80s. It's a bit slow.
It's a bit aged. Yeah.
Harrison Ford is not a fantastic actor. His performance
he's so
in it
cool though, isn't he?
He's very young, isn't it?
He
looks very, very young in it.
And he's got a jacket with a collar that's like way up the back of his head.
That's it.
And it's,
and the action sequences are a bit slow, and they're not quite what you would expect now from modern cinema.
It's the only movie I've seen with him in where he looks terrified when someone's about to punch him as well.
That's true, actually, yeah.
Every single time that someone was about to swing at him or do something, he was like, oh.
He actually looked like he was,
And all the other movies is like, no, I can take this punch and I'm going to punch you back.
That's right, yeah.
And he's also like drunk for the entire film.
Yeah, well, he must be.
Always having a drink.
But then, if he's a replicant, is he getting drunk?
Or
is he just drinking it?
He's just knocking him back.
Who knows?
I was thinking that maybe he was drinking and feeling the effects, but drinking because he knew he was a replicant deep down.
Well, this could be it as well. See, layers upon layers upon layers.
I just want to say, I really like the beginning part where obviously it was a very noir-esque type thing, and he got called into like his old commissioner's office.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't even work here anymore. Like
Yeah.
with the voiceover going on at the same time. It's like, okay, yeah, this is definitely
this
a
is
straight up noir.
Very film noir. Yeah, that's
I
it.
think some of the writing as well in it, like it's so aged. Like the bit where the first replicant goes to kill him, when he gets shot in the back of the head, and he's like, "Time to wake up. I'm going to kill you," or something like that. And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, there's some weird bits in that film, but then again, it's a
fucking
film that's
weird.
30
The
years
dude
old,
with the
so-
puppets and all that.
Oh,
freaked me
yeah,
the fuck out.
the little weird
Sebastian guy.
The little weird movable toys.
Yeah,
they were
toy
freaky.
things.
The long nose and the yeah, that was weird.
They
That
looked
was-
really good though.
They
I mean,
did.
they were convincing.
They did,
Enough
but
to be terrifying.
I seem to remember those. I have a vague memory of when I was younger watching that, and I think they freaked me out a little bit.
That's
I think.
something to like terrify a child.
Yeah,
definitely.
for sure. Okay, well there you go. That was Blade Runner, the 1982 original version, and the many different cuts.
So how
that it
many
has.
different cuts were there? You
There
said
are
there was
eight different.
So you're
cuts.
gonna mark it out of 8.
Mark it out of 8. I would give it 6 out of 8. I would give it 4 out of 8, but because it inspired the last 30 years of science fiction, I'm going to
rate
give
it
it.
on that, can you?
I'm going to give it more points than it deserves. Yeah.
Okay, I'll give it a solid 5 out of 8.
5 out solid 5
I was
out
going
of
to
8.
say 5, 5.5.
Sure.
Yeah.
There you go.
Can you tell me what the different cuts are while we're on the topic?
There's version 1, 2,
Episode 2, episode 3.
3.
If I can
Blade Runner, Blade Runner, Blade Runnist.
I'm not sure. Release. Okay, let's have a look. No. Versions. Here we go. Versions of Blade Runner. Right. So there is the
Theatrical release.
yeah. So there's a work print prototype version that was shown to test audiences.
Okay. So that doesn't really count. It's not
Then
released
well, no,
version.
it does count because that had, as I say, original sequences in
Was that-
that
okay.
changed the story that then the executives got in and
Yeah.
whatever. Then there was another version, so another preview version, which was only ever shown
Santiago.
once. Then it was changed again to the US theatrical version. There's the international theatrical release. I don't know what difference is between the theatrical release and the that version was. There's a US broadcast version. Presumably that's edited for violence and
boobies.
swearing and less,
Less
boobies.
boobies.
Oh, that's the point. Usually, if there's like a headbutt in an American movie, they'll cut it out in the English version.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Because it's
Okay.
not gentlemanly.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah, but they cut
It's just
out a lot
not
of headbutts.
sporting, dear boy.
I can't remember what movie it was in specifically that I remember that, but yeah. They
But
cut it
then
out.
there's the director's cut, which wasn't actually a director's cut. It was just a Ridley Scott approved cut.
So they're like, "Do you want another 2 million for this?"
Yeah,
He's like,
basically,
sure,
yeah.
it's fine then.
And then there was the final cut, which was released in 2007. So 8 different versions. But in terms of actually what has been released, there's 5 different versions.
Okay.
So you gave it a 6 out of 5.
So I gave it... No, I gave it a
what?
6 out of 8 because there were 8... Whatever. Anyway, that was Blade Runner. Next week, we're talking about Blade Runner 2049, which is the sequel starring Ryan Gosling, Jared Leto, and Harrison Ford, which I'm looking forward to.
Starbucks barista as well.
And Starbucks barista as
Starbucks
well.
barista?
Yeah, David Barista.
Oh, okay.
Bautista.
Bautista.
Yeah.
Batista.
That's right, Batista. Which actually I'm going to talk about him in a second on my now watching because yeah. Anyway, let's move on to what have we been watching, reading, listening to. David,
Martin, go with the theme.
okay, Martin, take it away.
What you been watching, listening, playing?
What are you going to watch? Listen to
Jesus,
That was more of like an overture, you know. There's
people
the...
have stopped listening at this point. They are just
Good fucking job,
Oh
too.
my
Yeah, because they're
gosh.
rewinding it to listen to it again.
That's not the case.
Rewind.
So, David, I've got you down. Okay, the jingle's over now. Jesus. Right, David, I've got you down here for Black Mirror. You watched the rest of that.
Did watch the last episode and a half of that, yeah?
What did you think?
Yeah, it was really good.
Did you like the episode with the bees?
I did like the episode with the bees.
Good episode, yeah.
Yeah,
Not
some
the
of
bees.
the parts of it were quite obvious though.
Yeah.
Like when he went into the MRI thing, I was like, I know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
here,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
things
yeah.
Like that. But only because when you told me before I watched it that it was about bees, that I realised very early on, as soon as I saw a bee,
Yeah.
what
Sure.
actually happened.
Yeah. But there's a really cool bit at the end of that episode where the bees go on their mass. The final. I'm trying to be subtle so I don't spoil it for anyone. But
it came out like a year and a half.
Okay,
ago.
so that when they go on their final killing spree type thing, and the guy, there's the moment where they realise what's going to happen, and then this really orchestral choral music kicks in, and you see the bees like waving in the sky, and then like basically dive bombing, and it's so all of the last that whole last 15-minute sequence, and then they go back to the courtroom, and they're like, so many people died that day, and it's so emotional and so like it just hits all the right tones.
Because obviously when they were saying that that he searched for his name on the list of things, and he was like, oh yeah, I tweeted out earlier today just to get his attention or see what he would do. And then when they found out everything was going to happen, and when he was stood in the room and all the bees started coming at the window as well, he was like, yeah, I just screwed myself over here.
I really, really good. Definitely, if you're going to watch any episode of Black Mirror,
more Black Mirror,
just watch the final episode of season 3 on Netflix, because it's a TV movie. It's really, really good.
Oh, is this the one that's actually feature length?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he won. Nice. As I say, we said last week, he won the Emmy for best TV movie. So
yeah, but that was for the other one.
No, that was for that episode, best TV movie, because it is a TV movie. I thought that was for
the other one.
No, it was
for the one with
he won. He also won something for best show or something else, which was the
San Juan or whatever it's called.
Jamperino, Jan Juan. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That's a good episode as well. I quite like that one. That's definitely the future, for sure. Being able to download your brain when you die and live on in a virtual world. That will happen as soon as people can. As soon as the technology catches up, that's what's going to happen. Yeah. Anyway, and you've also been watching Travels with My Father.
I did. I watched that. I think it's like
Jack Whitehall and his dad.
Yeah. Apparently it's really good.
I fucking hate that guy sometimes, but I watched the trailer for that and I was like, that looks hilarious.
Like in every episode, there's one part in it where you crack up laughing.
Really?
Yeah. Like it kind of like drags on a little bit in some places, but obviously they were there for 5 weeks. They've cut it down to like 6 episodes.
Okay. Yeah.
It's only a half hour an episode as well.
Oh, that's alright.
And then it was obviously a comedy the whole way through. It's quite funny. Some of the bits seem a little bit scripted. I don't know if they are. And then like the last scene where they're like just like chatting to each other at the end, and it was like really heartfelt, and it was like, oh okay, that's actually kind of.
Yeah. It's always so hard to tell with these types of reality shows. You never know whether they are scripted or how much is and stuff. And
I think they have like beats that they go with, but they.
I
don't know if it was a case that they like said it naturally, and they were like, oh, we didn't quite catch that. Can you just redo it?
Oh yeah, no, I guess so.
That might be
possibly.
why it kind of seems a little bit scripted.
They didn't get it right.
Yeah. No, that could happen.
But like, there's some parts in the beginning of one of the first episodes, Jack Whitehall's like walking down to meet the tour guide, and his dad's up at the bar talking to a ladyboy, and like it just seemed like that probably wouldn't have been, because he was like, oh yeah, that's my friend,
Yeah.
I thought this was a tour guide, and they were gonna. It's like I don't really see that happening.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, because they're in
a really fucking fancy hotel. It's like a 5-star hotel.
Yeah, and also to pick those almost coincidental, completely hilarious moments. Jesus,
it wasn't me.
No,
I broke the curse.
Wow.
I'm alright. I'm good.
But to catch those moments on screen, I mean, you'd have to be really lucky.
Yeah. Or you're like filming 24/7.
That's it. Yeah. So. I don't know. As I say, with all reality TV, I think you've got to take it all with a pinch of salt.
Definitely.
Yeah. What about you, Martin? Anything exciting you've been watching, playing, reading this week?
Yeah. Really quickly, I've forgotten. I actually remembered. There's a bit I should have said about the news earlier.
Go on.
Blue Planet season 2.
Oh yeah, season 2's coming out. Yeah.
Heard about that?
Is it out?
No.
Coming out.
Yeah, coming out.
Ooh.
With the music by Hans Zimmer and Radiohead.
What?
Oh.
What?
Sure.
You had me at Hans Zimmer, and then you lost me.
Radiohead, like
pairing of Hans Zimmer.
The
and
thing
Radiohead.
is, they are perfect to do music for a film or for film. I'm kind of
maybe
riffing
not,
on the song title
film,
they've got.
Just,
So was it going to be like what?
Well, it's going to be like, I imagine it'll be largely Hans Zimmer, and then Radiohead or Tom York will tinkle about with it afterwards, and then
make it more young and hip,
or make it more just like electronic.
Well, no, I know.
Atmospheric.
I'm trying to understand the pairing between
Radiohead, I don't know. They're good at building an atmosphere.
Maybe Radiohead
Sonic
just did
Have
the
Radiohead
theme tune.
Yeah.
Sing the theme
Just
tune,
like-
write the theme tune.
Blue Planet 2 or
Oh
something.
my gosh,
Yeah.
here we go.
Like
with
a
jingles
Oh, I'm
again.
feeling blue, planet 2.
Okay, interesting. But what have you been watching?
Obviously I watched it. That was great.
Oh, yes, you did.
Good time with that.
Yeah.
I also got my Super Nintendo Mini Classic. That arrived on Friday.
Nice. You've been
I was
playing,
playing some of that.
some Star Fox.
I played a bit of Star Fox 2.
Yeah.
That game's pretty good for what it is.
Sure.
Like, to understand this is a game released from, I think, the late 80s, because it was like towards the end of the SNES life cycle, which is why they didn't release it, because the 64 was coming out. So, I mean, I think it was GameSpot or IGN rated it a 5.5 out of 10, but they were like, oh yeah, the graphics are terrible and it runs at like 10 FPS. And it's like, dude, this game is not a modern game.
Yeah,
Why are you
right,
holding it up
exactly,
against
yeah.
that?
Yeah.
But compared to the first one, there's a lot more. It's a bit more open. Like, you don't just go through stages. You can, like, there's an element of choice in this game in that.
Oh, I bought Cuphead as well, like I said.
Oh yeah.
Cuphead,
nice.
that game looks pretty
Let's
cool.
play on that, yeah. It's
Will
fucking
be-
hard.
yeah.
It's so hard. But like I said, I don't know if it's harder because I've been playing 2-player.
Yeah.
And
Or maybe you just suck at video games.
No, I suck at video games.
Sure.
Yeah, no
And
doubt.
there's
Yeah.
actual evidence on the internet to prove that that's the
There
case.
is. Yes.
I'm glad that's out there now.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll probably be playing it on the Geekstation at some point, or maybe streaming it live. I don't know. Watch this space. Anything else you've been playing, watching, reading? You don't have to be.
Well, yeah, on the SNES, one of the games I was playing on the SNES Mini was Super Punch Out, which is something I never played.
Super Punch.
Super
Out.
Punch Out.
I'm
It's like
sure.
a boxing game, but it was, oh my god, I was so
Is that the one
addicted.
where like you're just
It's
behind?
literally behind,
all
and
you see is the gloves.
Yeah, well, you see kind of your guy at the bottom of the screen, but you go left, right, and back to dodge.
I think
and
I
there's
made.
like 4
Well,
punches.
is it an FPP?
I have memories of playing this when I was a
Dude,
young
I was
whippersnapper.
playing it for like 40 minutes, and I was like, I'm fully invested in winning at this, because it was just like, it's more of the rhythm game than anything, like understanding
sure.
when a guy's about to punch and what moves he does in what sequence and all this. And
Well, that's the thing with a lot of these classic games, isn't it? Is
That's
that
what
once
actual
you
boxing
it's
is
like
as well.
remembering more than
Well,
anything.
that's
But
it.
that's kind of
Once
like real
you've-
boxing, because it's just learning your opponent and what their tells are and to capitalize
yeah,
on that.
true, yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
I had a lot of fun with
Nice.
that. And it's probably a forbidden word, but I got FIFA on Friday as well.
What 2020 is it?
2018.
2018.
I got it for my Switch though, so it's the portable
Oh
version,
my gosh.
and it stacks up next to what I've seen.
I
of the
suppose I
console version,
forget
so-
sometimes that you are actually into football.
Oh yeah,
So
sitting here in a football shirt.
I'd say you have not lived until you have seen Martin
Oh,
watching
I mean-
a football match.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
you're
He becomes
Fully hooligan mode.
literally a
sat there
different
wearing
person.
an Arsenal shirt.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
he is. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's enough said about
that's
that.
the one.
It's like you put the football on and Martin just literally just morphs into
No, it's like
another
if I have beer and football is on and I'm in a pub, I will amplify.
If these three things come together at
I
one
will
time,
amplify all obnoxious behaviours times 100.
yeah, you do. I've seen it. I've only ever seen it once.
Oh, you
and
saw it the other weekend
I
as well. It was
did.
Bournemouth, but
Yeah, I know. I
wasn't
didn't.
quite
I wasn't,
as.
no.
That was the first game of the season as well when I
wasn't.
was acting up.
Oh, the first game of the season.
and
yeah,
everyone was
yeah.
smashed. People were climbing
Yeah.
over fences and shit.
Were they? I wasn't. I was.
Where did you see
In
that?
Felsons.
I don't remember that happening.
I'm not naming names, but people were climbing
Who
over
was it? Who was
fences.
it? Who was it?
No,
What-
no.
go on.
Anyway.
Say the names. Who was
No,
it?
no,
It
don't.
was you. It was
It
your
wasn't me.
wife.
No, it
was.
wasn't.
No, you
it was-
just don't remember it, David.
No, I do remember it because I'm not a drunkard like you two.
It was
No,
Dave from accounts, Dave from billing, Dave from all the
All
departments.
the Daves. Anyway,
See, I don't appreciate you tarnishing the Dave name.
so
Okay, Davo.
So this week, I myself have been watching. I saw Star Trek. So I saw the first two
Arsenal
episodes of
shit.
Star Trek, and that was really, really good. There's a
Oh, yeah, I
podcast
watched that as
available on the YouTubes where me and Ash talk about it. And I think David's going to join us on Monday to talk about it. The thing is, right? So it's a really, really good science fiction show. It's not quite Star Trek, or at least it is Star Trek, but not when they're telling you it's being set, which is 10 years before the original series. It just doesn't.
Oh, is it really? I thought it was like way after.
No. It's supposed to be set 10 years before William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy and Kirk and Spock. Like, it just doesn't stack up. The Klingons in it, they are not Klingons. They are some weird and other crazy race that just have no place being in Star
Fell
Trek.
face first into plasticine.
Yeah,
Do you reckon we're going to meet Worf then?
No, we're not going to meet Worf.
Why
No.
not?
Because he's a different timeline, different character,
Well,
different
no, you said it
ship.
was set 10 years before. so
Not different. You're thinking of Patrick Stewart and Captain Picard.
is that not part of the same thing?
That's set about 120 years after Kirk.
So we might meet Worf as a kid.
No, because Klingons don't. Anyway, look. Don't
I'm not
even
wading
try.
into a Star Trek
Don't
argument.
even try. All right. This
Okay,
is why.
what about
This is
Captain
why
Janeway?
you. This is why you can't. No. 10 years. Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway.
What about that dude with the big
Shut
ears
up.
on Deep Space
He broke him. He broke him finally.
So,
Oh, it only took how many
Snapped.
episodes? That was amazing.
so anyway, go and watch Star Trek. It's really, really good. If you want to hear our review about it and stuff, then tune into the YouTube channel. It's as I say, it's good.
I think I just lost my invite for tomorrow.
It's not really. Well, if you talk like that, then yes.
Uninvited.
It's Star Trek, but it's not Star Trek. But it's definitely worth a good look. The production value on it is incredible. I mean,
does
it's got
look really
like
good.
it's got like a $2.5 million per episode budget. So it's
it's like fully realized Star Trek.
yeah, basically, yeah. But it's and the first two episodes are quite cinematic. It's more like a film than anything. So it's good. And then the other thing I watched this week, I watched it yesterday while I was waiting for the delivery of these chairs, actually, that we're sitting on at the moment.
You're sitting on them.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. There's
The two
only two of
important
them.
people.
So, yeah, Martin doesn't get one. As I rewatched Spectre, because it was on Netflix.
You have nothing better to do.
I've been wanting to rewatch it just to go, it couldn't have been that bad. And it really, really was.
Oh.
That is not a good James Bond film at all. It is 2 hours and 10 minutes long, 2 hours 20.
Yeah.
It is long. Nothing happens in it. Like nothing. I mean, there's 2 or 3 action sequences, and that's it. And it's just
The opening. That's all there is to that
But
film, right?
but the opening isn't even he's listening to to the guys with the thing, and then he shoots them, and then suddenly he's chasing somebody, and then suddenly he's in a helicopter and
runs away.
and that's it. It's
Yeah.
like it's not doesn't even anyway. Do
Every
not
chase I've been in has been like that, though.
and every
Every chase that I've been in has been like that.
well ending in the helicopter.
Yeah.
Not the time I chased you. That was a boat at the end.
Yeah, but it was a bicopter bloke.
Oh,
right?
shit.
So,
I wasn't there for that
bicopter.
bit then.
yeah, so I could have taken off if I wanted to. I just didn't want you to feel bad.
Yeah. Wow.
He just chose not to.
I did have a
Sure.
1997 Volkswagen Golf.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
In
Anyway,
the south of France.
don't watch Spectre if you ever get the chance. Don't
I'm
going to
watch it.
Oh well, no, watch it because
I
you've
mean, at
never
your own
seen it.
peril.
But then do not come in here complaining that you were like that we told you it was good.
No,
That
I
we
won't.
wasted
I'll
your
just-
time.
I'll just start saying some things about Star Trek.
Well, sure, okay. As long as you're not trying to say them while I'm trying to do my part of the segment where I'm talking about Star Trek, that would be great. You can talk about Star Trek as much as you want. Anyway, anything else to add? Anything else you want to do, or is that the podcast?
I think so. I
David?
watched loads of Antiques Roadshow this week
Oh, Jesus.
with my
that-
grandparents.
in Cornwall.
Yeah. Oh,
Did you
dude.
hear about the dude that was watching like Antiques Roadshow in America, and they valued something at like 250 grand, and he was like, "I have one of those."
Really?
Yeah, he was.
Oh,
he
I've
was
got
like
one of
an-
those
he
in
was
the
like
garage.
an antique.
Doesn't this happen like all the time on Antiques
It was like an
Roadshow?
antique Navajo blanket,
Right.
and he obviously went and got it valued, this, that, and the other. They were like, yeah, it could easily fetch like 150 grand at auction. And then he took it to auction, and it actually got 1.5 million.
What?
Yep.
Wow.
Wow. I was going to bring up the story. There was a bloke who like spent 250 on something and he got 200,000 pounds back, but
This is
1.5 billion.
The Antiques Roadshow podcast, where
Antiques
we tell you
Roadshow.
the greatest stories from...
oh, dude, no. Watching that show, it's like I wish I knew something about that stuff because I could make some serious money.
Yeah,
if I
but
could just understand what a fucking 1942
I think there's more
English
to it than
Expeditionary
just knowing a little
Force
bit about
medal. Yeah, I guess so.
it. Yeah.
I just moved my microphone, and I think I can hear myself a bit better now.
Yeah,
Well-
we also heard you move it, but that's the end of the podcast. So, anyway, okay, cool. Thank you very much for tuning in. Next week, as I say, we're talking about Blade Runner 2049. So next week we will try, Martin, to do a spoiler-free discussion before we go into spoilers.
Elton John is not in Blade Runner.
That's
Well,
right.
Yeah,
He's
that
not.
might be a spoiler because he.
Or he might be. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Elton
But
John
anyway.
is a replicant.
Oh dear.
Well, that's probably true.
Or a Blade Runner.
I think he is a replicant. in
Or
real
maybe
life as
both.
well.
Maybe,
But yeah, so
yeah.
we'll try and do that. So if you don't get a chance to see it, at least you can listen to some of it anyway. In the meantime, don't forget to check out the YouTube channels, or YouTube channel, I should say, the Geekstation UK. Just do a search for the Geekstation. We've got loads of gameplay videos up there. The Speedrunner Cup, which we'll probably be finishing off this afternoon.
Should be concluding soon. Yeah.
Concluded.
I mean, it all depends, but which competition is hotting up It's getting very tense, very
I'm
exciting.
pretty close to not losing.
That's right, yeah. And if you're listening to this on iTunes, please, if you could find it in your hearts to give us a 5-star or just any star review, that would be great. If you do, if it's a good one, I'll read it out. If it's a bad one, then
Martin will read it out. I'll sing it.
Martin will sing it, and David will just shit all over it. So, yeah.
That's what he does best.
I was just trying to think of something that you could be doing with it. That was
okay.
all. So he's going to sing it. I'm going to, if it's a good...
I'll write a jingle for it.
David will write a jingle for it. There you go. Yeah, cool. You can find me, anyway, on Twitter at Mr. Cincinnati. David, they can find you
at David TGS.
David TGS.
Martin?
And
you can find me at Marto TGS.
At Marto TGS.
Marto TGS.
Not Martin TGS,
no,
but Marto TGS.
No. Shouts out to you again, Martin TGS. I haven't heard anything.
I don't think that there's anyone with that.
Oh, I don't think there is either, but I'm going to continue to shout him out.
One day, maybe, he might be able to find it.
I might see if I can sign up to it and then just like post some awful things on it.
About Martin.
Yeah.
Well, I won't be using that handle, so...
No, but he'll just he'll at you.
Edit it in the, all of the in the descriptions that's your handle.
Well, no, listen to the podcast and you get the real genuine article.
That's true. And also don't forget to like us on Facebook, facebook.com/The Geekstation. I suppose. Oh yeah, and also if you're in the market for any Blu-rays, David's sending some.
I've got some Blu-rays and DVDs. So if you want to buy any, just let me know, and I'll see what I can do for you.
David wants to sell Blu-rays.
Or if you have any Navajo blankets, I would anything below £10 I'm willing to part with for it.
Sure.
I also have a dash cam if anyone wants one of those still in the packet. 50 quid if anyone wants it.
Yeah, for all the driving that I do, definitely.
Yeah, I've got a couple of old CDs
anyway,
as well.
Sure. That was the podcast. That was the Geekstation podcast for this week. Thank you very much for tuning in. I suppose the only thing to say is it's good, but blah 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 blah.
Wowee.
I suppose the only thing to say is it's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from Sinn.
It's goodbye from me.
Excellent. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.